I'm going to go ahead and pick up where I left off. I ended the live stream. If you're just joining in and watching, there's part 1. It's under the live section on my website. I went over the beginning stages of this and talked about some shop updates, so you can catch it there. So hopefully you can hear me okay. I have my Apple Buds in, and for some reason, sometimes when I'm set up this way, recording into my laptop, there's a terrible static, and it just sounds so weird, and it just is a very different setup. But hopefully that is okay. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up where I left off and continue crafting these. If you're just going to watch from here, I'll do a quick walkthrough as I'm crafting what I did and my thoughts and what we're working on. So this is where we're at on this piece. This was just an MDF oval base. This is a piece of Nick art. Again, you can see all that goody stuff in the first part of the video live. And I'm just kind of looking. I think I want a little brush for some touch-ups. So I am adding some paint now and just going to go through and paint these little edges. Get this color all over and covered this entire piece. I am going for a very simple piece. This, I believe, is going to be for me. I haven't made 100% decision if I'm going to add it to my shop to sell. If I do, the best way to find out if this is something you're interested in is make sure you're following me so that you see updates when I do a live sale or when I add new items to the website, new collections, I should say. I usually try to wait until I get a few pieces, which I do have a little stash that I need to list for a little vignette. I like to put them together and then offer them live sales. Sometimes I do it on other platforms. Sometimes I just list them on my website. Sometimes I just take a picture and put them on Instagram and people will comment sold and then I can just invoice. Lots of ways I've done it. Some people just see them in the shop when they come to pick up their orders and ask to buy them. So sometimes some of my pieces don't even make it online. Just another little part of the Steel Roots market that I love to do. So I'm just going around covering up the white edges. I'm okay with a little bit of white coming through because that's my style as far as shabby vintage decor. And we're going to be adding more layers of stuff. Again, I'm not going to go crazy with this piece. I'm not going to go way long. And I'm hoping just something simple, because I just thought that image is just so darling. I love this Nick art piece, and since I'm selling off the Nick art collection, I thought, you know what, I'm keeping this one for myself. There is more. Stay tuned for those. Okay, so I kind of hit it. I'm just kind of going around making sure. Gonna kind of go around the edge a little bit here. If you want a sharp, clean, black edge, little paint pens work great for these little parts. If that's what, look you're going for. I always add layers with well, if anybody knows, I can't resist the pops of gold and gold wax and shimmer, especially at the holidays. Remember, I have that giveaway happening, and one way to get an entry is by liking this video. Put a comment underneath it. You can tell me, hey, I liked the video, I shared, whatever you do. I will take your name and add it to the entries for the giveaway. Make sure you keep following, because if you win and I don't have a way to contact you because you haven't been in my system yet for email or past orders, I'm going to need a way to contact you. So make sure you're following and catching my posts. I'm going to announce the winner on Monday. I generally put it in an email first because that's my priority. That is so pretty just the way it is. I'm already changing my thoughts on this. What about adding a beautiful silver over this? Boy, that would be pretty, wouldn't it? Instead of going with gold. Maybe I'll do silver this one and gold this one. We'll see. Okay. To pick up on this, let's see. This is still a little tacky. So we ended the first part with putting some crackle on here because I want to just have a little crackle lift for color. Now we're going to glue this guy on, this little cherub cutie. I'm just looking for a brush. And I had some glue right here. So we're going to put some glue on. This is another Nick Art piece. I do have one or two of these left. I'll be adding to a bundle. If you are wondering what is she talking about, I explained that a lot in the first live part of the video. That's another way to get an entry is by going over, watching that one, liking, following, doing all the things. Get an entry. Make sure you comment underneath and say, hey, Carrie, I liked and watched and followed and, do all that. That helps with the engagement. Helps YouTube push it out more. I'll add your name to the giveaway. If you're wondering what the giveaway is, oh, I took it and moved it. It's that IOD Christmas tree. It's a retired mold that's like amazing and everyone loves it, and we don't have any more to sell. That was my last one. It's one that I had saved and thought it would be great to offer as a giveaway for you guys. So that is the main piece, and then I've been adding more goodies to it, such as there's going to be there's a snow paste by Pentart in there, a brand new bottle of snow paste. There is a stencil set by JRV so far. There is, today's, what I added to it is going to be a big bundle of Nick Art pieces. And then tomorrow I've got some few more goodies to finish it off. And then Monday, it goes through the process of going to a lucky winner getting announced. If you're wondering how to get chances, you like, comment, share out my content here on YouTube, those videos. You'll see a bunch if you go on my page, on my channel. Then you can get more chances by doing that over on Facebook and Instagram. There's some posts. You can comment under them, share them, like them, become a follower over there, those things. But just in the comments, tell me so I can write you down and add your name into the giveaway. If you do it 4 or 5 times, I don't mind. I'm going to put your name in the giveaway. This is me gifting back to my followers, my community, my customers. And then if you go to my website and make a purchase, today I have double entries for any purchase. So you make a purchase, you're going to get 2 entries. If your purchase is $50 or more, you're going to get 8 entries into the giveaway. All right? And specials, just to reiterate, there's some specials on the website. Free shipping is $75, so when your order reaches $75, you're going to get free shipping. What else? There's some specials on decoupage papers. If you love rice papers and decoupage papers, there's some specials with that. There's some new ornaments I added this morning, ornament bases. Little farm animals and woodland animals and some different little kits. Let me put a little glue under here. So I'm just going to glue this down. I think this one's going to be for me too. I don't know. I might put it in, but gosh, it's looking so cute. These nick art pieces are so fun, so amazing. I'm going to chat to somebody I know that has a little bit of a bigger business than me. I can't continue to offer them. I was literally the only stockist in the States, and they're coming from overseas. Obviously, I just can't do it by myself. But they are really amazing. Okay. So we've got that. We've got that. If you're one of my maker friends that have shops and you're watching this, nick art, if anybody, you know. Okay. Let's put that away. That's drying. This was the color that we used here. And the name of it is Vintage Lilac. And it is by Pentart, and it is acrylic paint. And I do believe I have a couple more this size in stock in the shop. I'm going to go ahead and buy more acrylic paint. And to be honest with you, this was my first time using any of the acrylic paints. I may have used, if I did, it hasn't been in a very long time. I was pleasantly surprised when I just opened that and applied that to this. Then, of course, I love my Miss Lillian's. That's what we used over here. It's a metallic paint, and you can see that shiny shimmer on this. And I'm going to work with that to my advantage to keep this really simple. This is something, that little girl is not necessarily Christmas, so we're going to be able to keep her up in winter. She has a furry, beautiful coat and everything. Oh, so cute. So, let's see, what's next? Okay, so we're just pushing this down to get it dry. Now, I have a couple of options with this. I could go what I was originally thinking, gold, and I was thinking of using the gold. This one is sparkling, and I don't know if I want glitter in there, but I do have gold. And I was going to go around the inside here to kind of mask where the decoupage didn't line up perfectly. And then come in with gold, you know, some waxes or different things. I've got so many things here by Pentart. I'm just looking. But now that I see this, I'm kind of thinking that silver would be really striking. I do not have a silver paint pen, I already know, in my stash. I do, though, have, I'm pretty sure, I thought I had, I'm looking, these crystal pens. I thought I have red here, gold, snow. I know I do. I have it here in the paste. I have to get a thing for my pens because they roll off. Okay. Oh my goodness. I do not want to have to open up another one from inventory. Alright, so let me see here. Maybe I put them in the... I'm just looking through my stash. I have so much stuff. It's hard to remember and then keep track. Maybe some of this would be pretty, the pearlized. I'm wondering, I guess I don't... I have brushed nickel in this glaze. That might be pretty. It's not really silver. I have this Gilding Jewels in pewter. That might be really pretty on that. I do have, let's see, pigments by Posh Target. I think there might be some of these left on the website in silver. So maybe we'll just use that today. Let's see. So we need some pigment fix, or you can use pigment fix, or you can use top coat. Whatever you like. I might stop though, because I'm thinking I do want an ice crystal pen. You know what? Maybe I won't. I'll keep going with this. And then if I feel like we need it, we can put that on at the end. I'm just taking a quick peek here. I'm almost certain I had brought myself in for my own creativity. And I'm almost certain. Well, I can't find it. Alright, we're just going to go with Would You Ben. It's actually Posh Chalk Pigments. I used to carry this. I no longer do. I do have a little bit of inventory, just like the Nick Art and all that. You're able to go see that if you want to get some. Let's mix this up. And remember, if you've used any of these, if you use the Pentart ones, like these, powders that you mix in, you do not need a lot. I always mix way too much, and then I feel terrible because I'm not using it. So just do a little bit. I'm just looking, because I can't just let it go. The other thing I love is using these brushes. I'm not going to say cheap, but they're a lesser quality brush, but you can get them at Harbor Freight in a box, and they're good to, especially with some of these products that dry like so harsh like glue. So that's another little tip. Alright, so I need a top coat. Well, I'm just going to use the Pigment Fix by Pentart. It's the same thing. So I am just going to put a little bit in there. Set that to the side in case I need it. Hopefully I don't have another disaster. That's why I can't open this. Hold on. I gotta go get my husband to help me with this one. Okay, so I got this opened. I had a little spill here one time when I was creating with this the last time, and it made a mess with this jar, and it sealed it right up. That's why. So now I'm trying to think how I might want like a very detailed brush. Let me wash this one. We'll use this because that's a fine tip. So what I'm going to do is I've got this tiny little bit of silver pigments. It's Posh Target. I don't know if I have any in the shop. I'll have to take a look. While I was getting this, I was so tempted. See how much I did already, and I already can tell that's like way too much. I was tempted to go get a silver pen to use, but I didn't, because I want to make sure it's available in case one of you, I only have a couple left. I think I have 3, in case one of you need it for Christmas crafting. And who knows, maybe I did bring one in and I will find it. So what I'm going to do is kind of just go around very light-handed and just give that a little product right down in. And then I'm going to do a little bit of stippling where that decoupage paper didn't line up, or I didn't. So you can kind of go like this. And if I find I could use a brush with my bigger silver. So I think I'm going to add a little bit more powder to this just to make it a little thicker, a little bit shinier. That should be good. Let's mix that in. I forget how much fun this is to work with, and what an impressive impact it makes on these ornaments, or any of your projects actually. So you saw how little I started out with, and then just a little. That's how much this stuff makes. So I always like to have extra projects sitting that you might want. Oh wow, there we go. Look at that. That's beautiful. Extra projects so that you can use this up without it going to waste. There's no sense of letting that go to waste. And in a moment when I'm done here, I will show you what I mean. I always try to keep little blanks like this oval that I'm working on. Even if you just use that right on that oval just to get a color on, you're not letting it waste. You know, you might do something else or put it in a stash to, you know, use in the future, but at least you're not letting that product waste. And I'm just lightly pouncing that. Now I'm going to let it sit down, and some is going to drip because it is a little bit of a, running, but I'm okay with that because it's going to give it like a natural. And then I'm just going to kind of take my brush, just the tip, I'm trying to use a very small amount, and I'm going to just kind of pounce around the edge and feather it. It almost makes it look like a vintage mirror. And if I do decide to pour a pouring glaze, how pretty will that be? So I'm just going to kind of lightly, I might get a smaller brush. Now I'm just going to kind of do the same technique lightly over some of it. Just kind of skim to give it a little highlight over the piece. So originally I was going to come in with some white paint over the top and do like a white gold look, but then when I started working and saw how pretty that metallic is, it just kind of spoke silver to me, and I think that it will work well with being a wintry piece. Now I'm going to go ahead and just kind of brush this on like I'm doing around. I'm even going to go around here. When it dries, you have a couple of options. You can say, good, done, finished, because I'm sure it's going to be beautiful. Or you could come in with another layer. How pretty would it be with some white paint gently glazed over? And that's the fun part about doing some of these pieces. The other thing that I do a lot, because as you know, I don't go live crafting a lot because I like to take my time, let the project come to life, let it, originally, like I said, I had thought in my head I was going to go a certain way, but now it's morphed into a different direction, and that's the part. And I don't want to feel pressured to hurry. I will sometimes take breaks, which I might do, and then come back and continue on my way. That's why I couldn't finish it on the live. That live was 40 minutes already, and show you how pretty that is. So I'm just going to go through and continue working here, adding this to highlight. And this, if you don't have, or if you go to my site and you're wanting to get the silver Posh Chalk pigment, if it's sold out, I'm not sure. I thought I had a couple of colors discounted on my website because I no longer carry the Posh Chalk brand. It's the same thing as the Pentart. You would use the Pigment Fix. This color is so pretty together. I'm loving the silver. I guess I'm just really, boy, is that pretty. Makes it look so vintagey. And you have a lot of options to really keep working and upscaling this with layers. Another thing that I love to do is let it dry and come in with the same exact thing as another layer. I am all about layering. I would love for you to make sure you're following me. One of my New Year goals is to get on live more for you guys to watch my creative style. I've done some, but it's just so much with the editing and stuff. This live does make it easier. Right now, I'll just hopefully be able to upload this video easily. So now that stuff is starting to like thicken up and dry because I'm taking a while. It's another reason why to only do a little bit at a time. But with that being said, some of my favorite projects have come when it's thickened up because I like adding texture. Okay, I'm definitely, before this gets, I'm going to go around my edge here. And this is where I might want to do a couple of coats to really make that pop. And I also do not mind. I actually sometimes, if you watch my videos, will go around and build it up so that it makes it look like a line of metal. You're making it look like it's a metal embossed, almost soldered, like a, vintage old mirror ornament type thing. I'm just going to go ahead. Put that around. And if you want to keep your background, now I sometimes will go, depending on how far I'm going, I will come onto this surface with some of this, just like brush it. I don't want to go crazy with it right now because I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. But then I would come over with another solid color and let these little bits chip through. That would be absolutely gorgeous. You never know. This ornament might take that route. But if that's not your style, just know you can stop right here. I'm just trying to show all these beautiful products that we have available. Use them. This was literally a little surface. And if you don't have something like this, take the IOD mold spray and create your own casting, okay? And decoupage in the center. Even if you don't cut the center out, decoupage right on it. But if you order from me and you get these little free little ovals, or you've actually ordered something that came with them, sometimes I include them in the surfaces. So like if you ordered a frame and it had an oval cutout, that insert is, this is what this is. That's what that is. So keep those. Use them. That is a beautiful, you put a beautiful hanger on this, a ribbon. You've got, or if you didn't want to go that route, you put a little hanger on the back, a sawtooth, that's what they're called. Sawtooth hanger on the back. Look at this piece of decor you're creating. It's gorgeous. In my opinion, I would love to get something like this, especially a little handmade, vintage inspired. So I'm gonna look. I'm hoping I have a teeny tiny stiff. I have to have it. There's a certain. Here we go. Tiny, and the best ones are the ones that have been used, scruffy and all. I'm just going in here to make this look like this part. I just didn't want to use that big brush. Now if I wanted to, here's another little idea. You could come in with some like the chameleon varnish. It does like a little shimmer effect. Or let's see what else. The shimmer decoupage top. The decoupage. Anything like that. And what I especially love, if you're really taking your time, you know, doing a one-of-a-kind art piece, I would take this little brush, hint, hint, I don't think I'm going to right now, but I would go over the fur and this little portion down here with a very light glitter shimmer. And that way, when I poured that pouring glaze, Pentart pouring glaze, it would make it just pop beautifully. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going here. And I am going to take this little brush and kind of go around this edge a little bit. Give it a little more vintage texture. I just love this. I love the way it looks. And then I am approaching already a half hour. And I have to go get ready for my next appointment. So, with that being said, and close that before an accident happens like the last time, I'm going to show you this. Oh, I just painted the side. I'm going to let this dry. And then I will come back. So it looks like for part 3, which might be better for the load up time of the videos, because first it takes so long when I'm trying to load videos up. Oh, that is so pretty. Okay, so before I go, I can't let that go to waste. Try and grab, so like these are pieces in the past that I've been working on, adding product and mediums to just use, and then like I can put a pretty transfer or decoupage on this, and it's like my vintage brocante style that I love to do. But right here I have a casting that did not come out the best for clear. Let's see what else I got. I think I'm just going to use it on here and give it a good use. Let's see. That'll work. You can always, you know, just put a thin coat, to kind of on that. And then let's just finish it off by painting this. And then I'll have this little charm to use in the next project. And I'm not wasting so much of my product and feeling like I am. I can do a quick little rub on here. If I have a little floral piece of transfer, glue this onto a mixed media project. If I'm doing something, add it to another larger piece. Add a pretty velvet ribbon and just make it into like a little decor charm. There's so many fun things. This was a project that I was working on, and I poured a bunch of, I was just doing a bunch of ornaments. And so poured them, and sometimes that clear, the particular resin I use does excellent, and sometimes it doesn't. You know, it's just, and it could be all from the same pour. I don't get it. But anyhow, look it. I just created another little embellishment with this leftover stuff. I like to have these little pieces ready to go, stand by. Boy, that's pretty. Okay. Pretty, pretty. All right, guys. Stay tuned for part 3.